Busting the world's oldest conspiracy by revealing the first writer's formats in the Bible. Have you ever wondered who is editing the Bible? These are some of the words written by the 1611 King James translators that are wrote in its preface. They state 4 reasons how anyone can re-edit the text in the Bible. Their third reason is by the light and feeling we attained unto ourselves. The next arrow down points to them writing, a great clerk, Gregory, is the divine, spelt with a capital D. At the bottom, they will tell you by studying the Bible, your reward is to have a participation in a heavenly nature. Whereas the Bible's words should be telling you how to be obedient to our Creator to enter into heaven. Now you know by their own words, they are not the good guys editing the Bible. Here, let me show you the 12 commandments that are listed in Exodus chapter 20, verses 1 through 17. Surprising, isn't it? Now let me show you how I changed one word in Exodus chapter 26, verse 26, the word bars to arches, and now you know that these planks make the hip roof for the tent for meeting for Yv. Why did I just use 2 letters for our Creator's name? Well, Hebrews did not have the letters J, O, or W in their language. Therefore, I am closer when I say the letters YV in English than anyone else. It is better to learn how to pronounce these 2 letters in Hebrew. Our Creator made me see them 8 times, and these videos are my recording of how and why I am re-editing their text. Then all these books that I am editing will be made into one book in order. In my YouTube description, it has our Creator's hidden formats in a PDF of the same text. In fact, it is a message to everyone today and in the future. I have also made many different styles from these hidden formats for copyright reasons. All right, oops, forgot to open that up. Okay. Ezekiel 21, and you've seen by the intro, there's a lot of problems that I can quickly point out about the Bible text, but what I also can prove is that there are first writers' formats. And what I do is I start with the New American Standard 1977 because I have this real nice program here that when I click on it, it tells me the Hebrew word or the Greek word, and then it tells me how many of each of these words were used at that in this for this word that's listed in Strong's Concordance. Now, this is not Strong's Concordance, but you can see it's different. So what I do is I go through here and actually is recording this for history to understand why I changed the text that I am changing. And then you can see that as I go through, I'm able to find these type of formats. This is a 4-verse format, and what I usually do is I find 2 major words, and if I have to put it in, sometimes I note it as gray text. And what happens with these 2 words, I try to connect them with the least amount of smallest words as I can. And what happens with this becomes a small paragraph, but there's another similar like paragraph, so these 2 actually become a larger paragraph. So you can see that I have like a double space going here and then a small space. Now, in Ezekiel 17, this is what I found. So this is actually a prophecy when you understand it. It is a parable, but it is also a prophecy, but said in a parable. And I bet you a lot of people didn't know that exists in the text at all, the Hebrew side anyway. Now, what this is talking about is a large eagle with large wings and long claws and brown feathers came and took away the top branch to remove from the tree. Now, what that is talking about, when we look at the king's timeline, way back here, East Manasseh was lost, okay? And that is because those in Damascus, the king there, came over and conquered the people. But it was also that our Creator kind of give them away for not obeying the 12 commandments or the statutes. And so that was the large eagle that's being talked about. And then the second part is going to be talking about the eagle coming down, another greater eagle coming down and taking this. So that text has to come from this side over here, where most of the time when I'm got text from Ezekiel, I know it's with this king here. And this king here was an evil king. He's the one that's sits and meditates to have sex with a so-called female goddess, which is monks, Buddhists type of people. That's why they're single. But he put his carving of his goddess into the house of our Creator in his meeting room. So you know the priests were corrupt. This is pretty much the timeline that I can start saying that the corruption that I'm taking out of the text is pretty much started at this time. And then this is going to be talking about Assyria. This is the next. Later, a north wind will strike, and then it will wither off and die. Yet it grew. So this means that I know I'm rushing through it, but the other thing is you got to come back and take screenshots to help you get updated here. But it's this here is then leave some on the vine and then come down and get some more. There was a lot of people living at this time in these by the tribes. So now that you understand a little bit about the problems, I've got text from other places and from different timelines. That is part of the confusion in the text. So I try to understand the words, and then I'm able to kind of explain what I'm seeing as what is truthful or of which nation. There's two nations. So I did that wrong. Okay, now I don't know if it's the word saying, but pretty much at the end of the video is when I go over these verses, and I got 31 verses, so that's going to probably take 3 hours or more unless I start throwing out a lot of text. But the object is at the very end of the video, if you want to go and take a look, that's fine. Well, and you've seen enough of me for right now, so I'm going to put up Psalms so you got an idea what the Psalms formats look like. And these were the ones that were speaking about Jesus. And in there you'll find his name is being said. The Hebrew name they gave him was Yah. That's the way I pronounce it anyway. Okay, this here has been out ever since the beginning, and this text goes over and over. I think I've taken it out in more than 21 times, but saying, set your face towards Jerusalem and speak against. There's no such thing as sanctuaries, and prophesy against the land of Israel. Okay, now this can't be the land of Israel. This has to be the nation Israel. So now you can see that, again, I've got a prophet speaking from, because these are our Creator's words, I use all capital letters. The nation against the nation Israel, so I don't need this. And to make sure everybody's on board of knowing whether this means Israel is a good nation or not, it goes, I use all capital letters for it, meaning when there's good kings in there, but on all small letters when there's bad kings. Okay. And he wouldn't say it twice in a row, so this would be out. So what I'm looking here is trying to figure out this word. it wouldn't be set your face towards Jerusalem. If it would give more direction and more things. And I'm just trying to think as this text go with the prophecy above of how he told Ezekiel to, or another prophet, sorry about that, to take bricks and set up like a besieging of Jerusalem. But Israel does not have Jerusalem, so we get rid of this. Now, the capital city for Israel, let me see here, is Samaria. Okay, let me just blow this up so you get an idea that it's below Lake Galilee. It is not a Sea of Galilee because they have freshwater fish there, but they're deceiving you there. But this is the capital city here. And then for Judah, the capital city is Jerusalem. So now that you know the areas we're talking about, and if it's Israel, now it might change because I come down here, and if I'm reading more and it does change back to Jerusalem, then I got to come back up here and recorrect all this. Words from YV came to me saying, which means he is well acquainted with our Creator's voice, and he's just receiving a message from our Creator in his head, so it means it's not a vision at night. And it would be these two: prophesy against the nation Israel. So this would be out then, and now I've got a 4-verse format, which Ezekiel has been pretty much all the way. And so let me see, I better make some adjustments here. Okay, I didn't get that one up. Okay, I try to leave some messages in the chat box to start with. Those are the which I put in here today is our Creator's everlasting promises, and it is all His complete format. It isn't broke down as formats. I've kind of combined them, but I have that book copyrighted 4 different styles, I think, so maybe 5. But the object is that's our Creator's message. And over here, I'm trying to just prove that there are 3 these formats existed. So the first writer's text, we can say, existed, and they started re-editing it for their God. Or, and that would be Ra, the sun god. This is from 3,000 years ago, so you can't think in today's terms of what we know. You gotta go way back and put yourself in their shoes. So go prophesy again. Came to me, say, prophesy against the nation Israel. And if I do this right, I would say, and no. Thus, usually, this is the words he's going to be speaking. So it's going to be, this was changing this word to this word, adding this word. And it wasn't said, even though the words up here we have said, this was prophesied. By YV. This would have been the title, The Lord. So I've changed all those real quick. I'm adding this word. This word, I forgot that part. getting rid of this word and putting the correct word here. This was prophesied by YV. For the subject, I have to use him as a subject, and then him saying against you, which is the nation Israel. So now I have a comma and a period. Okay, now it says cut off from you the righteous and the wicked. The righteous he never kills. He wants the righteous who are most obedient to our Creator, meaning they put our Creator first before their own themselves or their family. So like the very example, Abraham was righteous. He was willing to kill his own son. Okay, so this would be wrong, and it's not the wicked. The wicked I have used throughout all the text because I'm trying to make sure the words stay the same and have the same meaning. Wicked would be doing evil or doing wrong to others. Okay, but to be against our Creator, it's evilness. Or no, I see it's going to be evil. I didn't read that right. Okay, now I'm going to not cut off, but I'm going to remove. And I can see I don't need this one because if I change this word to your evilness, now I need, but it does sound like it means evil ones. This was prophesied by YB. I am against you and will remove your evilness. So this is going to be into the verse. This is going to be here. This will be here. Now, I can't say it's his sword, so I still can't do this. I am against you with excuse me, this just happens to my little head. I'm running through many words and I'm really liking the word like right all of a sudden here. Like swords. I've been trying to think of this here. Like swords And if they're out, they have to be drawn. See this here. So maybe I have that wrong and have it. This is the word with now, and this word is not the one I need. So I'm adding this word. With drawn swords. I like the word to here better now. To remove your evilness. Okay. Now, the way the text is saying this, it's like he hasn't prophesied of Assyria coming down. Just by these words here, you can see that he's telling them that the sword's coming. I don't know north or south. I don't think that's going to be true. But the text would have to be now earlier up in here at this time, because example, if I've got text from here at this time about this time how they're going to be besieged, you can see that's like 100 years ahead of time. So we have to, when I'm putting text together, to have it correct all one order of the text from the many pieces from many books. I would say that this text has to be placed more up in here and not down here. But when I'm starting to get names of who, that would be closer. This is like a forewarning right now that what I'm seeing here. Better save all that work. Because I will cut you off the right. Okay, now that has been said, and I always get rid of double sayings. See, this is, that's already been said. Now, this could be the north and south of their land, or it would have to be said from the north to the south, not from the south to north. If Syria is coming down from the top. So you got to understand the words got to be put in the correct order as well. So if it's here, it would have to be north to south to be correct. Well, I should know that I am. It doesn't know. He doesn't need to boast. By the way, these colored words, fuchsia colored words, are words that they're added in 1977. So not every word is truthful from when they did the manuscripts. So this is all out now. This I've been saying is out. This is prophesied, but there should be a bunch of words like how come and why and things like that. And then there's usually words about Jesus somewhere in there when it's a real good prophecy. So but he's this isn't going to draw attention. Let's put it this way. A prophet is told to go to the gates for our Creator's house. Okay, that's how they do it in Jerusalem. Up here, the Samara is a fortified city with towers and guards at the top, and the king's place where he lived is along the wall of the fortified city. And there are stories to prove that. I just don't want to get into them. I've said them before, but so this is Samara. So this would be a prophet coming in heralding at that gate entrance. Okay. So this is something that they would already have to know that he has said something before, that they know he's a prophet, and then something will happen. And right now, I don't have words from this prophet actually as who he is. So I don't know how to introduce the story, as that he's just going to know that go with a breaking heart and moan bitterly in their sight. I don't think that's truthful. Okay. So I just got to get rid of that. See, and it will come about. Now, this is like still saying he's talking. And then he's actually trying to say these words. That isn't how prophecy goes. These words would be like what the prophet would say happened in his own words, okay? And then it came about when I prophesied that you will groan, and you will say, because the news that is coming. See, that's how it would be said. But if I come up here and say, to remove your evilness, it will happen as I said. This will happen. See, this was prophesied by YHVH. I am against you with drawn swords to remove your evilness. Could it be his sword? He usually has his angels go out and do the destruction. So now when it says come about, I have a hard time with this, because let me show you what happens. Strong actually used the most important words. And you can see that the word about wasn't. It will come when. Okay. Come when is the way the text would have been in the Hebrew text, by the way, in the Hebrew side. So if I pay attention to the Hebrew text, when they say they would ask you, why do you groan? See, this is not carrying on as they've got different pieces put in. Maybe it's being said out of order here, and that's what's confusing me. And this has got to be his name, whoever the prophet is. It would have to be so Ezekiel, and go and groan, and it would tell us where he's going to do this at. It's not there. Yeah, I'm having a hard time sewing them together or even finding the text that in my head. I've been doing this for so many years, so it's a little bit easier for me to do in my head than to be talking about it and really confusing you. So if I just start remove your evilness, then you will say, why are we groaning? Because of the news that they're coming down, every heart will melt, all hands will be feeble, every spirit will. I cut this wrong. Everyone will faint. Like these that are weak. Well, I got to go back up here and read this again here. I am against you with drawn swords to remove your evilness, and it will come when they will come when and it will come. What if I get rid of the word when? And it's you will say, now this is future, and I just told you it happens many years later. So, yours, uh, your descendants, meaning that type of word. Oops, not that, but this. Oops, get it back. Get this. Yours. And I missed that part. Yours will say, to remove your evilness, it will come, yours will say. So I guess I need this. It will come as they come. Okay, I got to put it that way. As they come. So now I got to get rid of this. And so I'm adding this. As they come, yours will say. Now that's finally a good start of a sentence. It took a while to get that one. Why are we groaning? period. If this is asking of a question, am I answering it here? Because of the news. No, as they come, yours will say, why are we groaning? Because if I put, because of this news was to come, why are we groaning? Because this, and I'm saying I have to add that, so it's got to be gray, and say that's the comma, because this news is to come. I'm trying to figure if I should use the word news. I guess I can, but I gotta say this was to come. Was to come. And that is the complete 4 verse. Okay. What I've got is 2 paragraphs here that are saying this. This is going to be one, and I got to look for another one. And everyone's, I got to use the word melt. Will melt. Let me see what the word melt means here. This is in 7. So that really isn't the word you'd want to use. So how do I say that without the words? If I put everyone here, everyone's heart. Get rid of this. And everyone's heart, comma. Be feeble and faint. No. This is the title YV. This would be our Lord YV. I'm trying to see how, because I read familiar words like that up here. I'm just seeing how come it's this way down here. It will come and it will happen. So I'm everyone's heart. I'm trying to see which one can I get rid of, which words, whole verse here, in everyone's heart. Everyone will melt. Let me get rid of this. Everyone will melt. Because it's got heart and it's got hands, I'm trying to still keep those are related to make it continue like a comma and a period type of verse to verse lining up. So, and everyone will melt. Now this, if I take this and put that here, and everyone's knees, and everyone's knees. That isn't the end. That's this. That's putting a comma, and then this is becoming the statement or the ending. And that's why I was trying to put heart and hands. So, okay, I think I've got. Okay, everyone's heart. I still got to put it this way. Everyone's heart. If I put their heart, if I get rid of the word everyone and put their hearts, and I'm adding this, and their hearts will melt. Now it's getting closer. hands. I just, their hands will be feeble. It's not feeble, but will shake. Their hands will shake. Let me see if that's this. Feeble, discouraged, fail, lose courage, relax. So I'm going to put in the word shake. And then I'm saying it's within the shadow of the word, so I'm not going to say I'm adding it. So now I've got, and their hearts will melt, and their hands will shake, and everyone's knees will be weak as water. Okay, now that sounds like those two now go together. Okay. But you can see that this is not going, this is added text. They're restarting something new here. This I don't need. It's like for their swords, are sharpened. Polished for slaughter. I don't think the word also is going to be there, but if it is, then I'll use that. Because it really, the style of how the writer writes right here. See, that is used, so okay. So, and also polished, so they can see the gleaming in the sunlight as they're marching or somewhere here. So this is our creator saying this. Mm-hmm. This has been said. This has been said. This won't be said. This, that just so out of place. That's make or to cause a slaughter. Tend to make or cause. Prepare for a slaughter. So if I use the word prepare, which they did, prepare for a slaughter. So prepare for a slaughter. So what am I got? I got a word. I got a verse missing here. So since I've got a verse here, I'm just going to put it in that it's missing. Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so now that's missing, but I've got to find other words like this. This is not, it's already been said. Prepares, okay, I don't need this. I just think I found the word here. For them to be given. Okay, now if I get rid of this too, I can use that there. And then I'm adding this. Given, I need the N. This is green. Prepare for a slaughter. And be given. That's what's going on here. And be given into their hands. Now that sounds like the last sentence. Is not. For their swords are sharpened and also polished. So prepare for a slaughter and be given into their hands. Okay. Now that's one verse. Now I got to kind of, or one paragraph. This is down here. A crying out and wailing. This has already been said, but it would have a likeness of. If the word is not which, but let me see if it's done, then I'll explain. Otherwise, it might be a waste of my time. So yeah, it is. Okay, so now let me get back over here and say that's not being used. And this is kind of like a comma, and then this will be the end of the sentence. They will be no more as a nation. Those I despise will be no more. and those I despise will be no more. Declares your Lord. Use this title, get rid of that. But then that's a 3 verse, not a 4 verse. So I guess that has got to be removed. This is not being truthful. If I got the last two, this will be given into your hands. They are delivered sword. This is, I don't think they just do this. Given into their hands with a the crying out. That's pleading to our creator type of thing. So with a crying out and wailing. Oh, that's what's confused me. I better put another space here for just, this is the verses. Sometimes my little mind just goes all over the place and I can't keep up every time I look up and down here. And those, oops, that's all of this word. And those I despise will be no more. With a crying out and wailing. With a crying out and wailing. Even the leaders of Israel, all is even. I'm thinking it's close enough to say that it is. And I get rid of this. Even from or it's got to be in the future, so it's got to be their officials or their leaders, their leaders. I think I added this. Let's see, 12. Yep. even from their, I'm going to say leaders. And even from their leader, and those I despise will be no more. Okay. Now I think I've got two groups here. Again, they will not clap their hands together, let the sword be doubled the third time. Sword for the slain, a sword for the great one slain. Which surround them. I don't think this is all truthful. So, this is not truthful. It's kind of been said how they're going to shake and what they're going to do. Yeah, right. Sometimes oversalted words just pop up in the, the words that you know that they just don't belong. No, like those. Like those. Like this. Make two ways for the sword. See, now this is Babylon, which is talking about Judah coming down, but I don't have the words of being the city besieged. So this text would be from the prophet that I've got, that I'm leaving his name as Ezekiel, but this would be this side here. So can that be said to connect to this up here? For those will be no more. Go out from one land and make a signpost. Yeah, see, this is now fortified Judah, yeah, Jerusalem. This is now, this text is now coming from a different prophet. So is this now true? What if I just say make way, comma, for the king for Babylon? Now this is capital. Words from YHVH came to me saying, make way for the king for Babylon. He will go out, or that's throughout the land. Make a way to the king. If this is going to make any sense. I don't see this. What I'm saying is, like, they're making this signpost, make a way to the king from Babylon, and make a going from your land. That's what it is. Going. Going from your nation, maybe. I'm just trying to. I guess it could be land. Going from your land. It's not make. If it's made signposts. By made signposts, that's what it is. By my, yeah. I think that's. This is an S. By made signposts. Now you also have to understand how close Jerusalem is to the main highway. So, whoops. This is the main highway. You can see that there's this ancient path. If you got to walk around the rivers, okay? So what I did is I tried to blow up this map and walk the smoothest, easiest route, and all the way down to get to this, and how people needed to go get water when they needed to get it. So this is the highway. Okay. Just to know that is. Oh, I was getting to Jerusalem, so let me get back to it. Down here is Jerusalem, so this is from Jerusalem, that they're going to come out from Jerusalem, or fortified Jerusalem. Rome. Okay. This seems to be that I missed something. Going from your land, I made signposts along the way to their cities. I made signposts to mark is this. Away, fortified Jerusalem. Boy, I'm having a hard time reading this. But going from your land by made signposts to mark a way from fortified Jerusalem. Okay. This, we know where they're going. That's how we can write the story. But it's not making sense. And this is, well, this is two groups right here already. So I'd have to find two groups here. I don't see any of this text being necessary. Um, now, let's see here. See, now this text I've already got. That's what I was trying to tell you. I've already got a very little similar like words of these words. Better written, by the way. This would just be like stealing words and then bringing them down here to put in the text and starting to double speak their meaning for their God here. I don't see this as being part of anything, what I've cleaned up. Now this is almost like a piece, but this is not part of the piece, but this would be this. So if I have to go and say, I'm not going to use this piece, but I'm using this and this as a paragraph, because this, I'm saying, if when I'm putting pieces together, I don't need a piece that I know that I've already got starting this story. And this is like starting the story here. Oh, maybe I'm overthinking right now, but I'm going to leave it as two pieces like this. Mark away from fortified Jerusalem to the king. I'm not seeing any of that. Okay. This is poorly said when he's condemning people. So that's not strong enough words. Now, this would be the their time has and the end of Israel. So they didn't have a turban, they didn't have a crown, they didn't have that's our creator wanted them as he made us. So there's no such thing as a crown. I don't see any of this. This would be something I might be able to use. So Amens have been gone for about 1,000 years now. Day has come, the punishment. Okay, so this is being said again. So let me see if that text can be used instead of this in. But where'd I leave off? There's signposts, big signpost marked away from fortified Jerusalem. A ruin, I will make it. Desolate, I will make it. This also will be no more until he comes, whose right it is, and I have given to him. This is talking about Jesus. If we do say those words from Jesus, Son of Man, don't need this. Concerning their reproach, so his sword is drawn, polished. See how they like using words over and over because they can't think anything new to say? Oh, this. From fortified Jerusalem for it is ruined like a ruin. Desolation I will make it. Desolate I will make it. There will be no more. No, I don't see this making it. I'm trying to stick it with words that I've known down here and above, and that's just, there are going to be not enough text to make 2 verses out of it. This is just like the beginning of another vision, or, okay, they will see. While they say to you false visions, while they divine lies for you, to place the neck on the wicked who is slain. No. No. I don't see anything here. It's telling us a story. Put some places in here other than just be like, okay, done. And that's what happens a lot of the text. I end up with just small pieces. And this is kind of, it doesn't, it happened almost every other chapter in Isaiah. Here, it's not happening as much, but when I'm taking out as much wording in between these breaks like this, I'm not getting the complete story here. So let me get ready for the next video here, but come over here, find this. Okay, this is my cleanup time here. And it's always good to see how much truth we got here. Words from YHVH came to me saying, prophesy against the nation Israel. This was prophesied by YHVH. I am against you with drawn swords to remove your evilness. Now that's one verse. Now I have 2 spaces here. As they come for you, as they come, yours will say, why are we groaning? Because this news was to come. I need a space, and their hearts will melt, and their hands will shake, and everyone's knees will be weak as water. 2 spaces. For their swords are sharp. Their swords are sharpened and also polished. So prepare for a slaughter. Be given over and be given into their hands. Now, if I got these 2 and I got, this has to be 1, but this actually connecting 2 together here. Given over to their hands with crying out and wailing, even from their leaders, and those I despise will be no more. Now it's got to be 2 spaces again. Words from YHVH came to me. See, now this is what I say. This can't go to this, because this is now talking about Babylon. And this is actually no more text. No more text. So how do I do this? Wait, undo it here. And Oh, that's what happened. Oops. That's a 4 verse, and then that's a 4 verse. So there's that piece I was talking about. But that's the end of this video, and for I'll try to give you a screenshot right now so you can copy that and look at it and get an idea of, if you're new here, to get an idea of the format, how it reveals itself. I don't, as you've seen, I didn't try to add that many words that I knew that were missing, but it kept with the flow of the writer. And this type of style here, that you can tell is by saying other like words for another place would also help me out as to saying when I get pieces that this piece would go with that, because I call it like a reed tasting, and or it's the same like words, the way it's written word by that writer. But that's what I found. So that's pretty good. At least got something. I mean, there's been a couple chapters that just don't matter at all. And okay. I'm just thinking up my head too much. Sorry.